I was like, that's fine. Well, I'm like, do you at least have any people, like, family, friends, that you might be able to, at least know? She's like, no, I just don't want to give you names. I'm like, please. Like,
Got it.
lady.
All right, so let's review here. So let's
All
check
right.
this out. So first off, in your book, good. I would put a picture of yourself here. Cool.
Got it.
So bring one. I'm going to tell everyone to send a memo out so you guys can bring stuff by Sunday, but we want to make sure we decorate this all properly. Oh, there's Mr. Kamani.
I know. I tell him I know him.
Yeah, you want to put a picture of yourself here. So here. This doesn't have any of your sponsors, so it just has this.
Yes.
Okay, I would actually put the page where people sign. I would put that in here as well.
So
yeah, I would have that page in here, so you can show it. Now, something I can tell you right off the bat, I don't see any triple signature on there. I don't see any double signature on there. So guess what? It's going to make it a lot harder to get one.
Mm-hmm. The only one I have, or I guess technically, because my mom would have been the first one, but she ended up writing on this one, so I was like, oh, well, dang it.
That's fine, but I'm just saying you can fill out a whole page with all the people you guys know and put your mom's name 3 times. You need to have something to point to, okay? That's very important. I know I talked about that in SLDM, and that's very huge that we do that. So here, I like to have the signatures, and I'm like, oh, look, here's some, oh, look, there's your friend so-and-so. And so I point to people they know and just planting the seed, hey, I'll show you how you can help me with that later. All right, so you want to have that. So here, I would actually have your demo goal. So this here, you've got this. Here I would have your thermometer with your demo and your sales goal for the summer. You should have a summer thermometer. Have you thought about going for a scholarship this summer?
Yes, I have. Because
I know you were talking about experience and resume builder, and like that is such a huge resume builder to be able to say that you were top, 50 in the nation out of, thousands.
Oh yeah,
tens
that's
of
definitely one thing I was actually looking at, and that's one thing I've been at least trying to at least push up to is definitely the scholarships, because well, I mean, if anything, at least having at least one scholarship from here just shows that at least I put in the work for it, and that would just be so great, honestly. And plus $1,000 for school is $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, the extra cash I think is awesome. I think the money you earn in the process is pretty spectacular. And the biggest thing I think is just being able to say on your resume, you are one of 50, top people with a $250 million a year company. It's pretty, that's just awesome. So helping you guys stand out for sure. So you want to put your demo goal, you want to put your thermometer for the summer. So we want to set that up. So you have your summer goals, and then after your summer goals, you can put your current goal, like the push, so you have a push thermometer or, whatever's happening that week. Like next week will be challenge week, momentum week, and then we'll have the 2.5 week push period. And then the week right before classes, before the 25th, when we have CFC, there's a regional competition for a week, which will be fun. And they'll recognize the top people when we're over in Austin. So there'll be a crew coming from Lubbock, who will come forever. So I would have that. I would have this. I would have your signatures here. So I want to show them the signatures in my book. If you look at Andy Janssi's book, he's got like pages of sponsors. Like, these are all the people who have sponsored me. But you're showing the proof people are your sponsors. Cool. Also, it helps you at the end, and I'll talk about this Sunday more in depth, but it helps you at the end get them back onto thinking about the appointment and not just thinking about the sale. At the end, you ask for the order. So they're thinking about a sale, whether they bought or not. They're thinking about a sale. And the ones that didn't buy, they feel bad they didn't buy. And they're not going to recommend you to anyone they think won't buy because they don't want them to feel bad either. So don't forget that. So when you get them back onto the appointment and thanking them so much for how they helped you towards your demo goal, and your goal is to do 20 appointments a week no matter what. And so thank you so much, for taking time out and being part of that process. It makes them feel really good. And then you're like, oh, and then do you remember the free way to help me out? And they're like, oh yeah, what was that? I'm like, my sponsorship. I'm like, oh, do you remember the sponsorship? I'm like, don't worry, it's free. And then we dive into explaining, recommendations. So now you walk me through real quick, and then I'll do it back. So you just finished the demo, close the sale. Once you close the sale, where do you normally go? Are you still just like on the homemaker page? Like, where are you normally?
Once I sold.
Yeah, once I picked out what I wanted, where are we at now?
Usually, most likely people just look through smaller items itself, because that's usually how I make most of my sales, because most people I go to, they don't really want like the bigger sets. And usually if I try at least get them like something like Space Saver or something like that, at that point, like, okay, well, it's basically like safe to assume that, hey, maybe they might have looked at something, might be interested. So I let them go through all the accessories. I let them go through the all the little gifts too. And especially the outdoor stuff itself, because
Mhm.
some people really do just love looking at this stuff, and I'm like, go ahead, look through all this while well, before I tried using what Viraj told me, I
Mhm.
would just tell them like, just look through all this while I write up your order and do all the math, and if you want, you can look at all the math I do, so that's how I'm not messing with you about anything. I just joke around with them.
Mhm.
And usually that's what I do. I bring out, I don't have my thing with
Okay.
me.
So
but
this can be a lot stronger. Have you gone field training yet?
Field training?
Who
No.
have you?
I wanted to, because
Okay.
every single time.
So I want to see if today, I don't know if JD had any today or tomorrow,
Mhm.
but I want to make sure you get field trained like in the next 48 hours. Okay. So you can go watch somebody.
Yeah, I wanted
demo, you
Ashley
can
to
go see
watch
Viraj.
me, and I also wanted also wanted to see Ashley's too, because we were supposed to do it, but it's either
It's fine. I'm just
busy
saying
or
if you
left.
go with one of the guys, then you can just like see, oh, here's where I'm lacking,
Mhm.
because you're still. I mean, you did fast start, you did a great job, but obviously you don't know how to do the job. Like you don't know how to do a powerful demo. You're amazing talking to people, which is just so funny that your friends and family are like, you talk. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, you don't shut up. I think you're incredible. Like your energy, talking to people, your leadership. Like we loved having you here from when you first started and we kicked off, the push. Like just amazing energy. And I know that you can be unbelievable. And so I want to teach you your basics. You sold a lot without having any foundation. $9,000 in your first week and a half without knowing what the hell you were doing. It's pretty awesome. So now it's like, all right, now, and then you left, for orientation and stuff. So we didn't get to really work with you.
That momentum really crushed me. I was like,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But we do need to build momentum now, And so now it's like, all right, well, first of all, you weren't even doing stuff right. So I'm kind of glad we stopped so we can like get you where you need to be, and we can make a plan for the rest of the summer. Because by the way, you're kind of where I was my first summer, where I told them at SC1, I said at that point I had sold just shy of 10K, and I went to SC1. I'd been working 2 other jobs, and when I went to SC1, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And it really opened my eyes to what was available. And I was like, all right, I want to take advantage of this, and really July and August is what I crushed. I sold 48 grand for the summer, so another 40 grand. 24 of it was in August alone. But I really got my foundations down. I got onto the Alliance for SE2, and I learned so much, and it really like set me up for my career. So we want to make sure you have a really strong demo, which I don't have time to watch all that right now, just because I had skills checks set for next week. But I just wanted, since you were saying you were really struggling with Rex, I want to watch that real quick. But going field training, so you can go see a demo, and then we can talk about, where you're lacking, but you really want to be following your manual and going through there, going through how it shows you, and then making sure you have that down, and we'll go into 2.0. Now talk to me. So fine, you finished your demo and whatever we've looked at now, when do you ask for recommendations? When do you transition to recommendations?
Well, I'll just go with all the previous times before, because I wouldn't really count yesterday. But all previous times, how I would do it is I would wrap the order and then be like, oh yeah, there's one more thing. Suppose this. I'd be like, follow around, be like, sorry, trying to find something, and I end up showing this. I'm like, so there's one more thing that you could do for me, and that's I have this sponsorship that you can definitely help me out with. It's totally free, so you don't have to buy any more stuff. So I usually flip to this page. Well, this was because
that's fine. Just do what you do.
I was like, okay, so I have the automatic. I'm sorry.
You're good. Just go.
Okay. So I have the sponsorship, and basically how it goes is I usually then flip to whatever. Usually I go with the first one. I say, well, usually if you give me 10 people's names, I can get 1 sponsor. If you give me 20 people's names, I can get 2, and 30, I get 3, which means that you can write down your name right here, and you can just help me out in a free way. Not only that, this keeps me up in business, and it's basically the entirely free way to do things. More or less.
Tevin, you don't have your approach done at all.
I know it. It's because I'm freaking out right now internally.
Cool. You want to do it again?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Do you know your approach? I'm just saying there's 3 bullets you have got to have down. And before you leave today, get them down. You said you've spent 3 days here. What the hell have you been doing for 3 days? It takes 15, 20 minutes to get those 3 bullets down. Cool?
I know.
3 bullets. What's the first one?
I only get paid.
I get paid every time I show Cutco, and I can only call people. But I can only call people I've been personally recommended to. That's the job. Cool. So the first thing you're letting them know is the job. So by the way, how you transition is up to you. You know, I wanted to see what you do, and you're like, oh, you have this, you don't find anymore. Like, cool, that's great. Make them laugh. Like, I think that's awesome. But I think it's really important first you thank them so much for their time, always at the end. You know, make them feel good about taking time out for you. Not just the sale, but just taking time out for you. So Ms. Jones, I just want to say again, thank you so much for taking time out. Like, I know there's other things you could have been doing, and I want to say again, like, thank you. Like, I really appreciate your help. You know, if they bought Cut Curry, like, you're going to love your stuff, which is most people. And if not, I'm like, hey, and in the future, now you know what you want to get. I'm like, now, do you remember my goal? And my goal is to do 20 appointments a week. You know what? You put them back, and I like them to have them, you know, sign the thermometer of like my demo goals. So I want to really focus on the demo goals. And then I'm like, all right, cool. And then do you remember the sponsorship that I told you about in the beginning? And that's where I pull that out. I'm like, awesome. Where you can really help me out. So I get paid every time I show Cutco, and I can only call people I've been personally recommended to. So what I need you to do while I clean up the mess here is to jot down like 200 to 300 people who might be nice enough to help me out. I'm not looking for anyone you think would buy, just anyone super nice like you would take a look. Cool? And so here's how the sponsorship works. And now you explain the sponsorship. And you're like, so when you fill out a full sheet like this, you need to have a full sheet. I told, like, this is stuff we covered. You started, I had an SLDM that you came to. You've heard me talk about this. Like, this isn't anything new. So I guess, again, that's why my brain's like, what have you been doing for 2 days? Why not redo your rec sheets? You know, so these are all good, and you have sponsors on all these. So that's good. All right, but these right here that have less than a sponsor, like, get rid of them. And the fact is, you know what I think, like, all the beginning, you were getting sponsors each time because you were following the manual, because you were brand new and you're following the manual more. And then you got really comfortable and started doing your own thing, and this happened. Okay. And that's a normal thing that happens with reps. Like, when they're new, they're getting great results. Why? Because they're reading the manual, and the manual has the right information. But then they stray from it. So all this, combine it. No one can see a sheet that has less than at least 10. Also, you need to have a sheet that has 30. You have to have a full sheet. So write down all the people, like I had said before, from your training manual, all the people that you know. Fill this out on one, put your parent's name or put your name or put no name, but put it in the front. It's the first thing they see, because then you say, hey, when you do, you know, when you fill out a full sheet like this, and that should be the first thing that's right here, all right? And this should have, with a marker, you should have, you know, like 3 times sponsor. That doesn't even work, but whatever. Triple sponsor, 3 times sponsor, you know, so they see that. On here, like it says, double sponsor. You know, all these should say sponsor on them. Perfect. All right, but this has to have that. So you say, hey, you fill out a full sheet like this. The other thing, you're like, if you can do this, if you can do this, it's all super wimpy. First, it's like, oh, Ms. Jones, so here's how this works. You fill out a full page, you sign 3 times like this, and you point to the signatures. Hey, you get to 20 like this, and you would sign twice. And even if you only get to 10, like Brenda, you would sign once. And when I get all 50 of the signatures, that's when I actually get the $150 award. Cool? Here's a couple sheets. You hand them 2 sheets. How many?
2.
2 with marked targets. You want to have, and I used to have an arrow. So I had the highlights, right, which I'd have stronger highlights, but whatever. I had an arrow here. I had a smiley face here. I had that. So I hand them 2 sheets that have marked targets. Cool. And you hand both of them to them. Why?
Because, well, they see the goal, and that's usually what they try to strive for.
Why 2 sheets?
Because they expect more. Well, you expect more, and
it just tells them you're expecting a lot of names. Cool? It's a confidence thing. All right. But I would just reset this. I would even re-sign, like, do a new sheet of this, and you can try to do everyone's signatures as they are, write their names, but the first one, put your mom 3 times, you know, then put your dad twice, then put the other ones that are all single sponsors in there. But just so you can point to it and say, when you fill out a full sheet like this, you get to, and it's little things that make a big difference. I did this with Billy, and he was like, oh, I got it down, and he finally memorized the approach. He's like, I'm still not getting them any, and he wasn't doing it right. He wasn't delivering it properly. He like finally got the words down, but he wasn't delivering it properly. You got to have the words, but the words is only 10%, but you don't even have that part. And so you need to have the words, and then you've got to deliver it properly, and you've got to be set up for success. They have to see that. Cool. So that's really, really important. So, you know, from here, obviously you have a lot of people that you haven't seen. You haven't seen all those people. So you have people that you can contact, but I want to make sure that you get organized so you can really crush this, because this should not be happening. This should be like 1 out of 20, but you're not asking properly and you're not set up for success. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So today, now, first thing is I want to make sure you make like 25 calls so you could book up demos,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to load up as many as you can for tomorrow. You can have 4 tomorrow, have 4 tomorrow. Everyone's picking up, and then we'll see who has one open and when you can go watch one. But I want you to load up, because if you can get 4 tomorrow and we do this, which we're gonna nail this today, and I'm gonna go over this tomorrow morning again with you,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to see it. Tomorrow, you should be able to have a new 50 to 100 people that you can go see. I'll tell you what, ask Billy. The demo after we did this and he got it down, his next one, he got 30. His next one, he got like 20. And like now, he's like, it's very rare he gets less than 20. Zyla, her next demo after we did this last summer, 30, then 30. One of my guys, Alan Melendez, his next demo, 60. His next one, 60. His next one, 30. His next one, 30. He had 180 new people off his next 4 demos. Cool. So that's the number one priority. In the next 24 hours is making sure you rock the crap out of that. You have enough people to load up a 4+ demo day tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to get back in the group. So when you're like, oh, 1 a day, that's just dumb. That's a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
Load up the day. Let's get you a great day. Get some good recommendations. Get the momentum back flowing. You should pick at least 3 days this week to do 4+ demos. And if you can do like 7+ on it, pick 1 day to blitz. Pick 1 day to blitz. But I told all the guys, pick 3 to 5 days. Do 4 to 5 demos. That's up to you. So some are doing 3 days, 4 demos. Some are doing 5 days, 4 demos. Some are doing 5 days, 5 demos. Everyone has different goals, but pick 3 to 5 days this week to work and do 3 to 5 demos on those days. If you want to pick a blitz day, pick 1 day to go, for 5 to 8 demos and make it happen. But you want to build some momentum. We do have the barbecue on Saturday night, and we do have the boot camp on Sunday. And we want to make sure we finish strong with a huge Monday. Everyone, that should be a blitz day. 5 to 7 demos for everyone on Monday. Finish the week strong and make sure we start the momentum properly. Then we have 1 week until SC2 kickoff, and you now, and you're like, oh, I ruined the momentum. Like, I want to make sure you guys keep building. You keep building, keep getting better, more people. Make sure your skills, you're implementing the stuff that you're going to be learning this weekend. But first, we've got to master your basics. So this is not mastered, and your closing, your demo is not. Like, you don't have your basics down. Cool. So I want to get that, because I do want to see you get into GCLA. I do want to see you create opportunities. I do know that you can be a freaking rock star. And Devin and I were talking about that just from you being in here and helping the last couple of days. I mean, Devin could be so great. Like, I know, like, you bring great energy, you're fun, you can execute, like, you're a hard worker, you've got a great work ethic. We just have to make sure you have your foundation down. And once you have that, then, you'll put your personality, and you already do that and you sprinkle it in there. That's fantastic. But you've got to have your basics down if you want to be successful. And if we nail it properly this week and next week, that puts you, so right now you're just shy of 10, you hit your 10K tomorrow. Like, I would make it a goal to have a grand day tomorrow. Like, what can we get today? You can get some demos today. You can hit your 10K today.
All right, 10K.
Did you officially knock it out? Because online it was like at 9.
Yeah, I don't know why. It was stuck there for like a week, and I was like, what happened?
All right, I need to look at it again. I looked at it a couple days ago, and I'm like, geez. I'm like, he's right there. All right, so now you're at 30-30. Awesome. So with this week and next week, where can we get you to? Can we get you to 15? Can we get you to 20? Can it be like a 5K week this week, a 5K week next week, and build for the push? Have you thought about a number at all? Or you just said you just want to shoot like real big?
I want to shoot real big.
So
yeah.
I want to get you lined up, because to me, as long as we get your basics, as long as we're rocking your recs this week, and we get this down, there's no reason you couldn't have at least a 20, if not a 30K plus push. There's no reason. Like, you can do what JD just did. You can do what these guys are doing. It's just you didn't have as many demos. They had 5 to 7 demos a day, and you did not. And we know now, the issue where we were having trouble with that, and you just weren't on program, and that's our fault. We should have sat down with you sooner and made sure this stuff was like, airtight. We had it all down, but I want to make sure we get that down, because I don't want to fail you as a coach. I want to make sure that we set you up properly, because you do that and you rock a huge push. And let's just say you sell 5K between this week and next week, not even 10. I'd love to get you to 20 before the push, because that means you're going into the push in bonus land. And now you're going, you're earning 35%, and you can get to 40%, get to 45%. So that's exciting. But I want to get you, let's say we get to 15K, even, during the push, you have a strong push. Do you feel I feel like pretty comfortable that you could do 20K plus. We built the right momentum these 2 weeks. I think you could be a higher performer. But even if we did that, That puts you at like 35, between 35 and 40 for the summer. And with a strong finish the last 3 weeks, even with you moving to Lubbock, rocking some virtual demos, rocking demos of 2 weeks right after before you go, you could win a scholarship this summer. It takes about $50K to win a scholarship. So if you want to hit that, it's like, hey, let's rock this week, because your average order is in that, 500 range. So it's about 10 sales this week, which means you need to do about 15 appointments between now and Monday, So if you can have 4 days that you're going for 4+ demos, like tomorrow's one of them, and then, I don't know, let's just say it's Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, but pick the days that you can crush some demos. You do that. You're at 20 during the push, 20, 25, 30. I mean, that's scholarship, So I wouldn't worry as much about like all the big sales numbers. I just like to look at that to see what would it take, and what it would take for you is like, you've got to do at least 12, if not 15 demos this week. And next week I would probably take it up to 20. That's what I told JD, all the guys that are going for big weeks. I talked to Raj. I was like, you've got to be doing 20 demos right now each week, for their goals, because they've got some pretty big goals. And I was like, and then when the push comes, boom, just go. For you, I'd say 12 to 15 demos this week. Next week I'd probably say 15 plus, probably up it a little bit more, and then be ready to roll. So what stuff do you have going on with your family this week and next week?
This week, I don't know. Wait, okay. Actually, what's today?
What do your parents have on Saturday night? Can they come to the barbecue?
I think they can. I don't know their schedule as of right now.
Talk to them. We'd really love to have them there. I want to meet, even if they just stop by to say hi and meet us. I'd love to meet all the parents, especially of our top guys. And I'd love them to meet, like Haley's parents are hosting it. It's going to be at their house down by Taylor. And we want to get a chance to say hi to everybody. And I want to invite them to come to SC2 on August 5th. Now, are you clear for the rest of the dates with the summer? So we've got this weekend is prep.
The only thing I have going for me for the summer is I'm going to Mexico on July 25th to the 30th. So
yeah.
It's only for this. I know.
So you're gone 5 days to the push. I know we got a couple people that had stuff before. Okay. So then that means we definitely want to. So then next week you might want to go a little bit bigger. That's what William Wood is doing, because I know during the push he's gone to Europe for part of it. So he's actually starting his push tomorrow, and he's starting the 5th for 2.5 weeks. My goal is to sell $40,000 in 2.5 weeks. And I was like, all right, and he'll be here for a little bit, and he leaves I think right around right that next weekend after the push starts. He'll be the first 5 days, and then he leaves and then comes back. So I want to make sure that you guys are set up properly. So you're gone. So let me make a note of that. So you're gone. Tell me the dates again.
July 25th to 30th.
All right, July 25th to the 30th. All right. So, but then you're here for kickoff on the 17th, and you're here for closing ceremonies on the 5th.
Yes, I'm here for everything else except for those 5 days.
Did you? Oh, you weren't at the meeting, so you didn't get to learn about the events team. Has anyone talked to you about events?
I asked Devin about it because I remember that they shot out an email, and I was looking at it. I was like, oh, that's a thing.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. So we had some of the guys talk about it. They'll talk about it on the 17th, and you can get to meet some people. We have our fall, for the new people going through events training. We actually have the national trainer, Josh Muller, coming in from, he actually lives in Austin, but he's the national trainer for the events team, and he's flying in. He's going to be flying around training people in different parts of the nation, and he'll be flying in for hours on Sunday morning on the 6th. So if you want to block off that first weekend of August, the 5th and 6th, 5th we'll have SC2, we'll have limo night, and then on Sunday, he will do the events training for you guys. Cool. And then 3 weeks later is when we have over in Austin. When do you leave to school?
August 16th.
Okay. So we'll look at that and see if there's, do you guys have fish camp and stuff that week, or?
I think it's just moving in and all that.
Okay. Check with you on the latest you can get over there. The longer you can stay here, the better, for your scholarship. I mean, once you're there, you'll get set up. You don't do anything the first week of school anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But we do want to get your stuff up there. But if you can get up there later, go up there and move your stuff up. Maybe right before, the week after, because the 16th is the Thursday. That's a week and a half before school starts. You don't need to be there that early.
Probably.
But check to see if you can a week later, the following Thursday, go up, move up your stuff, and then carpool with the Lubbock guys to Austin and meet us in Austin. So there'll be people driving over from Lubbock coming to the event in Austin, and that'll be awesome because you'll get a chance to meet some of the top people from all over. People are coming in from Denver, from Arizona, from Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, New Mexico. So people will be coming in all over Texas to celebrate the summer, and you'll get to meet some of the best from all over. So that'll be really cool. I know you'll get a lot out of that, and we'll have our first big Leadership Academy training there. Cool. So I want to make sure you just have dates, lined up. I want to see what we can do to push you back a week. So are you driving over there when you move your stuff? You're gonna fly?
Flying, but I believe my mom also wants me to go like on the 20th, if anything.
Okay.
So if anything, I might just stay for the extra 4 days.
Yeah. The later, the better. Try to stay as long as you can so we can get you put you in the best position financially, put you in the best position for all the stuff for your resume that I know that you want. Because you're someone I'd love to have in Leadership Academy. You're someone I'd love to have in a lead role. And it'd be sick to get as many accolades and load up your resume from stuff from this summer, but also put you in a position to really maximize next year. Cool. Let's do it. All right, we got some moves to make.
I had one more question.
What's up?
Was I saying a lot of if when I was doing this?
Yep.
Gotcha.
And by the way, a great thing to do is to record yourself and listen to yourself. Like with anything, when you want to be a great speaker, that's something that every coach says. Record yourself speaking, listen to yourself, critique yourself. It sucks listening to. I've had to do it for myself. It's not super fun. But it helps you really be in tune with what's happening and really own your speech. So I definitely recommend that. It'll help you. So you can be stronger because it was very wishy-washy as you're going through explaining it.
Yeah, because I think for me personally, I think I figured it out myself too. It's I think I ask too nicely whenever I do it. It's not really
you're kind of a wuss.
That's okay.
When you get to that part, you're super strong, super confident. You're so, if you could, help me with this, maybe, no way. You just had such a great time with them. They had so much fun with you. You tied them into your goals. So at the end, it's Ms. Smith, thank you again so much, for your help, for taking time for me, whatever. And they're and do you remember the sponsorship I told you about? I'm it's free. So you can say whatever you say. You have some money, whatever, just have fun. But say, so here's how it works. So I get paid every time I show Cutco. And I can only show people I've been personally recommended to. So what I need you to do while I clean the mess here is to jot down 200 to 300 people who might be nice enough to help me out. All right. And it's made to be a joke. And they're I'm just kidding. 20, 30 is fine. And I'm not looking for anyone you think would buy, just anyone super nice like you to take a look. Cool. And so here's how my sponsorship works. When I get 50 sponsors, I get a $150 award. All you have to do to be a sponsor is 10 names. So if you fill out a full sheet like this, all right, you would sign 3 times. You get to 20, you sign twice. And even if you only get to 10, you still sign once. And when I get all 50 of the signatures, I actually get the $150 award. Cool. So here's a couple sheets, jot on as many as you can. Is it cool if I use a sync? And right there, you hand them that, and they're oh my God, I don't know if I can write that many. But now don't worry, I'll help you. I'm you're totally allowed to cheat for this. That's where you can you can grab your phone, you can grab church directories, neighbor directories, school directories. And I don't know if the kids have any old sports rosters, Little League, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. Those are awesome. Super nice moms. Be any nice moms. I'm anywhere you have nice moms, I'd love to meet them. And then you give them general, when they slow down, you're oh, who's nice from the neighborhood, who's nice from church, who's nice from work, and you go through that. And then whatever they give me, I say, oh, thank you so much. And then I hand it back. And I go, now, who do you know who wouldn't buy, but they're super nice like you? Who do you know who wouldn't buy and doesn't hate college kids? Who do you know who wouldn't buy and works and eats? I'm yeah, jot them down too. I'm any nice moms. And then the next thing I do is the thought charter sheet. And I go, and by the way, who do you know that knows everybody? So it's a process. So they keep adding more names. And then you go through all of those. And then you say, hey, by the way, I'm moving to Lubbock. Who do you know that lives there? But I can also do demos nationwide, and my goal is to sell in all 50 states while I'm at school. So anyone if you have any cool friends or family that live in other states, I would love to meet them. I can do it with them over the phone. It takes about 30 minutes. And they're oh yeah, I have my sister in New York, and then you add those people to it. All right. And then you just see where they're at, and you're oh, only 2 more to get to 30, or only, and you get them to that next goal on there. So we'll go over it. We'll review it again tomorrow. I want to make sure you get the 3 bullets down today. I want to make sure you have a page filled with 30 today, and I want to make sure you make your calls. So calls first. Then list, or even while the phone's ringing, you can start transferring, people on here from your manual. And then I want to make sure we get those 3 bullets down before tomorrow.
Awesome.
Cool. Let's do this. We got a scholarship to win. We got a limo night to win. We're going to have some fun. We missed you for sure.
You said keep these out?
Combine them all into one. Yeah. So let's see here.
Or
Okay.
should I put these in? Just keep them.
Combine them all into one and then throw them out. Just put next to it like whose they were, or hide them in the back.
Okay.
Yeah, they shouldn't even be there. No one should ever see that because if you don't have any, you won't have any more like that. All right. Let me see if I know Adam just said he had to move. I guess till tomorrow. Let me see what we have here. Where's Allie? Okay. Deb, did you just give everyone the day off? Oh, no.